Conspiracy theorist, dude. You're down the rabbit hole.
That's my problem.
You think that just because people get paid, they do things that are shady.
Yeah, I know. That's a weird thing to think. I should stop thinking that way.
Yeah, I mean, we make $110 billion a year on type 2 diabetes. They're trying to put that out of business for sure.
Yeah, they don't want
right?
that money.
No. They're like, hey, Stan, how do we get this off the balance sheet, bro? How do we get rid of this? Is stinking up.
So there's
place.
a business that relies on people being so disgusting that they get type 2 diabetes. Mm-hmm. So bad with their diet, just eating pie and drinking soda till their body just starts to cave in.
Yeah, but don't worry,
that's worth how much a year?
$110 billion.
That's
type 2 diabetes.
That's not a lot of money. It's not like that would change anybody's opinions on things.
Well, I mean, a lot of people could live on that. There's a lot of people that could live on that. Bro.
Isn't that funny? A lot of people could live on what's killing other people.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny? Like a lot of people are buying yachts on what is killing people.
Yeah, so
wild.
The interesting thing is look at our food stamp program, which is the SNAP program, which is one of the biggest subsidies that we have in the government, $120 billion a year. $10 billion of that is going to subsidize sodas. I mean,
they need soda. It's an important part of the food pyramid, I think.
It's right,
isn't it in there?
It's right up there with Lucky Charms, right?
Lucky Charms is right above ground beef.
Yep, and grass-fed steak, and then you get to the top, and you got soda. It's phenomenal. And then the American Heart Association just ironically comes out in favor of soda in the SNAP food program. And
we went over that, and we found out that they're paid by Pepsi and by Coca-Cola.
Wow,
it's just so dark.
Yeah,
it's so crazy.
It
the
is.
American Heart Association gets money from Coca-Cola and Pepsi.
Yeah, I checked into my Airbnb here in Austin, which by the way, love Austin, man. I see why you came here. We covered it all on my podcast, so I won't go down that rabbit hole. But it truly is, man. People are amazing. Food is amazing. Went to this little restaurant called The Well, which I love, and they catered all my food. But there's like a serious wellness vibe here.
Mm-hmm.
But
a lot of healthy people.
Yeah, a lot of healthy people. So I check into the Airbnb, and I go into the closet. Like the owner's closet wasn't locked, and I went into the owner's closet. Of course, it's like all Cheerios and cookies and crackers. And I pulled a couple of bottles of these seed oils out, and I did a little post about it because I was like, look at all the heart healthy labels on this.
Right.
And you talked about seed oils last time, but it's and I get attacked a lot for saying that these polyunsaturated fatty acids are bad for you, but a lot of times it's actually not the plant itself; it's the distance from the plant to the table. Right.
You explained because you were explaining the other day to us the process that it takes to turn rapeseed oil, which is what canola is. They said that rapeseed was problematic, so they changed it to canola oil. I always thought it was corn oil. Yeah, corn's good for you. Corn oil must be great for you. Oh, yeah. We're using canola oil. Cool.
Peanuts.
Please explain though the process because it's so vile.
It's insane. So rapeseed, canola, is a plant. Essentially you put it in a commercial press, and it will come out gummy. And so to degum it, you use something called hexane. And hexane, if you go to National Institute of Health or National Library of Medicine, you'll see that is a known neurotoxin. It's classified as a neurotoxin. Same as fluoride, right? Which is actually fluorosilicic acid. We'll get to that later. But so we degum it with hexane. And then you take this degummed oil and you heat it to 405 degrees, which turns it rancid. I mean, there's no mechanism on Earth for temperatures to reach that much, especially plants to encounter those kind of temperatures. So now it denatures, it turns rancid. So now it's putrefied and it smells. So now you have to deodorize it. So we deodorize it with sodium hydroxide. So we degum it with a powerful neurotoxin. We heat it to 405 degrees and turn it rancid. And then we deodorize it with a very powerful carcinogen. And then in some cases, we bleach it and bottle it and put it on the shelf. You ever go to the grocery store and you see the entire grocery aisle? It's all these like Wesson oils or vegetable oils, but they're all exactly the same color. Mm-hmm. Like exactly, they have that same beautiful clear hue. That's how
they look super healthy.
No. Have you squeezed 10,000 watermelons into watermelon juice and put it all on the shelf?
They would vary a little bit.
Yeah. But there's no variance there, and so this is a chemically controlled process, and it's again it's not back to the polyunsaturated fatty acids per se. It's the pro-inflammatory process that they cause, these foam cells, and the inflammation in our arterial wall, which actually calls cholesterol to the site of inflammation. And we blame cholesterol for a lot of the heart disease, atherosclerosis, arterial sclerosis, because it's at the scene of the crime, but it rarely pulls the trigger. I mean, cholesterol is kind of like a fireman, right? It gets called to the fire to put the fire out.
Right.
And so the theory that if we had fewer firemen, we'd have less fires, it's kind of absurd. Right, but that's the theory. That's the theory in LDL cholesterol. It's like, it might work in California. I could see them passing that legislation.
Yeah.
You know what we need? We need less firemen. But so the theory that if we push down the firemen, which was called to the site of inflammation, meaning we reduce the cholesterol, which was called to the site of inflammation to cause the repair, rather than ask what started the fire, that notion is about to be, I think, blown out of the water by big data. I think you're going to see big data, artificial intelligence, and early detection in the next 5 years are just going to circumvent the entire system.
Do you think there's a possibility of removing food oils from the market?
I don't think that we'll ever replace
food oils. Excuse me.
Yeah, seed oils. I don't think that we'll ever replace seed oils.
Why not?
I think what's really interesting is the chemical processing. So another really good thing, and I'm helping to author this paper with Callie Means and a bunch of other folks to present it to Bobby Kennedy in looking at the genesis of chronic disease. Because if you just, and I know lots of people have talked about this on your show, so I won't belabor the point, but if you look at the spending of $4.5 trillion a year, right, on healthcare in the United States, and then you say, well, what do we lead the world?